What's good, y'all? This Skip, host of DeCypher. Got my co-host with me, DJ. And today we are breaking down Kendrick Lamar's latest studio album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Right.
When we speak about this album, strictly from a perspective of just looking at it from the outside looking in, in our opinion, you know, as we discussed in pre-production, it's his most digestible album, maybe outside of Good Kid, Mad City. How you feel about that, DJ?
I agree. And it's so crazy because it is his most digestible album from a content perspective. But in terms of like the beats and productions of it, it was kind of divisive when it first came out. Because a lot of people didn't expect, well, a lot of people had the notion like leading up to the album that he was going to be experimenting and no one knew what to really expect. Now, looking back in hindsight, I don't think it's nothing wrong with the production personally, but back when it first came out, I can understand why people was kind of off-put a little bit because it is definitely different, but it isn't, the album in its totality isn't something that's super crazy to where you need to write a thesis for it. So,
I felt like, and not to cut you off, like it's from the experimentation viewpoint, I kind of looked at it like, it's what To Pimp a Butterfly was going to sound like, but it got replaced with the cleaner, more polished version, which was and the raw version was Untitled Unmastered.
okay.
So I kind of look at it from that perspective. It kind of sounds like some of the stuff that he may have left on the table with Untitled Unmastered, he brought some of those sounds in. Like when you look at beats like Worldwide Steppers, that sound like something purely from that time frame, like just completely left field. He was able to present himself in a way that you hadn't heard him before.
Yeah.
But even though when you hear it, even though it's something completely new, it doesn't sound foreign.
Yeah, because I feel as though on this album, he was really, not that he hasn't before, but he was really able to make the music he wanted to make.
I think so too.
Like he wasn't trying to like capture a sound, do a trend, and like he was literally like, that's why he took so long making the album. Like, bro, I'm trying to live my life, get my shit together, get my family together. And if I got time to make some music in between that, I'm gonna do that shit.
Writer's block for 2 years, nothing moved me. It's got to speak through me. Voice of yours truth. I told you, it's gonna be different today. That's
what I liked really about. Like, I really feel as though like he just made the music he wanted to make and didn't give a fuck what people was gonna feel about it. Like, this is my shit. I'm putting it out.
Now I did see in a interview he recently did with W Magazine, he wasn't gonna put the album out. And he wasn't going to put the album out because he was unsure about how his family was going to take it.
It is a lot of shit about his family, so I definitely understand that.
And he said nobody heard or knew anything until it came out. The only person...
He didn't let them hear before?
No, the only person who knew something from how I take it is Whitney or Whitley, his better half. Because she actually has voice inserts on the album.
Yeah.
Like, that's her talking to him. So, you know, they were able to deal with it front facing and create art with it at the same time, but his family hadn't heard it.
Oh, I wonder why did he do that, do you think? Why he didn't let them hear it?
Because it'll mess up the creative process.
Okay.
They don't want to let people in, you know, because at that point they become a chef.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, I don't want you to say that.
Yeah,
and he was pretty raw.
Yeah.
In like 4 of them songs.
We don't know no better. We don't know no better.
So, okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this recent, like this interview just came out, I think last week. Not to date the what's the name too much. But yeah, man, let's start from the top. Cause like you said in an earlier episode, my favorite song is All of them. My favorite song is indeed All of them. But we can start at the beginning, man, and work our way to the top. And if it's songs that we, you know, some songs won't require as much discussion, but like for him to start it off, how he started it off with United in Grief, and also the intro sound.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. So you really know this track list like verbatim? Like you ain't gotta look at your shit. It niggas United in Grief. I look at it really is United in Grief.
For real.
That's crazy. But go ahead.
Like how I start off like with the lady coming in. That shit sound like a R&B song from the 90s that would have. I don't even know if Boomerang came out in the 90s, but it sounded like that intro vocal sound like it would have been like on Boomerang, like in that era. Like it would have been like a score to some shit at that time. But
now I gotta research. But go ahead.
He the entire I feel like Kendrick has been this was the perfect album at this time, and I'm trying to get this thought out. But it was the perfect album at this time because he's been, whether he created it or not, given this pedestal to like he is not just the preeminent face of hip hop, but he is like in some sort of way supposed to save this hip hop, like this generation that consumes his music through music.
Yeah.
So it's like he got a lot on his shoulders. So I feel like this album was a good
I am not your savior
for him to show you that, hey man, I got my own problems too, and I'm also one of y'all, which is like what the theme of the Heart Part 5 was.
Yeah.
And like the artwork, like I am all of us. You know what I mean? It's like, hey man, like we all going through this together, but like I'm also relatable to a point where I have traumas too that we can all relate to. Like, so like I'm no different from y'all, but I am all of y'all. So like as I move forward, I carry y'all with me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we're united in grief.
And honestly, I mean, I hate to skip ahead, but I mean, you said it. Like that's literally like one of my favorite songs is Savior.
Yeah.
Like he spells out plain as day.
I'm not your savior. Like, stop saying that.
Yeah, like stop that shit. Like, I mean, like that's not my purpose. That's never was my intention.
Yeah.
Was to save you. Like when I'm trying to go through how can I save you and I can't even save myself?
Like I'm actually taking steps to get myself together. Like the more I grow, the more I find out about myself. So if me sharing myself with you guys, you know, helps you deal with stuff,
then that's great.
You know, that's great. But like my job is to be the best person I can be and share the journey in the way that I find most appeasing and creative and fine.
Ducking the overnight activists.
Yeah.
Like, would y'all want me to come out and say some shit?
She talking about? Yeah. Smelling like patriarchy. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Well,
that's so crazy. I'm not even to get back into that song, bro. But like I told you, that's the craziest line I ever heard in a song. At least to start off a song, that is crazy. But as far as United in Grief, I mean, I think that's the best summary. I mean, I haven't heard that song in particular in a while because now when I listen to that, I kind of go back and just
skim through the hot points,
like to pick my stuff. But
you should add that to your hot points.
Just the whole,
that song in particular,
Okay.
Because it's got the different tones. Like the beginning. How does this song start? I've been going through something. What is it? Okay, the therapist part. You know, so he introduces that, like the him basically the way I hear it and visualize it, like he's actually sitting down with the therapist and he's like kind of like the Boogie interview I wish, but the Boogie DeCypher that we did earlier, where he's like laying down the list of issues, finding a launching point with the therapist, you know, debating my theories and sharing it. So he's doing that in that first verse, you know, and also like picking at himself a little bit. You know what I mean? Indulging myself in my life and my music. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's kind of high on his own supply. But then once the beat changed, which I love the beat switches and transitions in this album. Like musically, I don't know. That might be a bit. Fuck it. I think musically I like this better than Damn. I think musically I like this better than Damn.
In terms of like an actual, like critiquing, like looking for an album, this is a better like album musically. But as far as like the better songs,
better collection probably is Damn.
I think Damn is the best overall that hits all the checkpoints. Even if people don't truly understand what they're listening to, it checks it for everybody in terms of like the accessibility aspect of like the beats per se. But this shit right here, I feel as though if you're not going into this album with an open mind, then you're just gonna be phased out by a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And if you're not one of those type people that listen to albums to really listen for the musicality of it, then this album's not gonna be for you.
Kendrick probably isn't the artist for you either, because he makes music like he's really into that. Like he's into what makes music great.
Yeah.
And not just hip hop. Like he's into what makes music great, because after Good Kid, Mad City, he spent the rest of his career attempting to bend and infuse stuff into the genre of hip hop, which I respect on a high level. But back to that, the second verse, he starts to talk about like his most pressing traumas. He starts to, and he discusses like his issues with infidelity and the lust issues, and talking about trying to adapt to being rich, you know what I'm saying, and like the issues that come with that, and like how indulging in those things don't take his grief away. You know what I mean? It's just like I grieve different. Like bro, like the stuff I'm stressing about is like being on tour, like being this super big artist, just having sex with random women and like super indulging in the money, like buying cars, buying necklaces and all of this shit, while trying to cope with my vanity. You know what I mean? Like all while giving crazy raps at this super fast paced speed. Like it almost feel like it's panning kind of. It's like you feel surrounded by what he's going through, and it also makes you feel like he doesn't really have an escape in this point.
I guess it's kind of a side question, but it's really not. It brings back into the vanity aspect. When do you think Kendrick solidified his fan base? At what point in his career?
To Pimp a Butterfly. I feel like Damn. But I think so? I think when he released Humble and DNA, DNA was for the people who's already his fans. But I think Humble is what made him accessible to way more people. Like that really changed where he performed at.
Yeah.
Like as a person who followed Kendrick's career, like that changed where he performed at.
Okay.
DNA, Humble, and Loyalty, that changed where he performed.
Because the only reason why I asked that, and I asked that to try to tie that in, but also too, I guess because N95 is the next song, but that's just a hard ass street song. But as far as the next song, Worldwide Steppers, the reason why I brought that up is because when he was talking about, the white girls.
We got to go back to N95, but keep going.
But yeah, and I was just trying to see, like, at what point in his career he was starting to, like, really deal with the things that he was talking about in the first song. So I was just trying to see, because, like, how he was,
Swimming pools.
Swimming pools. Okay.
Sing About Me. So he's been doing his whole career, like, even back to the Kendrick Lamar EP days, like, songs like Faith. He's been discussing this stuff his whole career, but I just think he's just getting better as an artist, so he's able to bring it together and do it in more creative ways. But like, because I think the song Faith, it was just him rapping and BJ the Chicago Kid on the chorus, and now he's just able to introduce so many different sounds and different ways to do stuff that he can make it more sonically intriguing for people who just not coming to listen to Kendrick Lamar because he's Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm just trying to, like, as you were saying, I was just trying to picture like the timeline of like with him like going through these type of things throughout his career. So that's why I was just trying to make that connection, because I didn't really think about it like that until you said it in that moment. Like, oh, okay.
And if we discussing it from a sales aspect, like Damn did 600 and something the first week.
Yeah, like 680, I think.
I think To Pimp a Butterfly did like 3 something. So it's like his other albums is around that 330 and like 240 to 330 type stuff, and Damn was double. So I think that, like, fan wise, that was the peak from the general masses, like attaching themselves to him, like even as a casual fan.
Yeah.
So like N95, it does have a very street element to it. Well, I won't say street. I'm finna get urban. It does have a very
this shit hard.
It has a very urban, like a very classy urban aesthetic to it. Mm-hmm. But like the content, like once you get in, because if you just listen to the song, it's like, man, like
what the fuck is cancel culture, dog?
You can almost get through it and not grasp what he's talking about because he makes the song so digestible just on a listenable level. Mm-hmm. But like the whole take it off thing is basically just like
take out
everything that's in front of who you are. Mm-hmm. Remove all of that and bare your naked soul to me. And what do you have? Ugly as fuck. Like,
you out of pocket.
If you remove everything every piece of clothing metaphorically that you put on to shield who you really are from the people around you, especially if you're not trying to clean it up, you ugly as fuck. You out of pocket.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like so that song is like he was like take off your idols. Take off the wrong red, or that's just him stunned. But like but yeah, he's just like, hey man, like remove all of that shit, man. Let's start from the beginning. Like, well, let's start from ground zero and build ourselves back up.
And what else do you have, bitch?
So, and I think once you put everything on the ground, I feel like going forward in the album, you get to the songs like Worldwide Steppers and other songs that follow it, where he's just like basically addressing every fabric that's on the floor in front of him. Yeah. And the first one, as you go into Worldwide Steppers, first of all, let's go back to the N95. That beat is crazy.
It is. This shit hard.
that beat is crazy, and it's like the different changes, like, and nigga had like sounded like Beach Boys at the beginning.
Yeah,
like he introduced like so many like small, like intricate details, like that give it so many different time signatures.
Okay,
like the we may not know which way it sounds like something from like the 80s or the 90s, like R&B. And the Hello New World, it's for me, it sounds like something in that Beach Boys, Beatles era. You know what I mean?
Got something to tell. We back outside.
Is that not a Beach Boys song? Or am I trying?
Oh, he's still alive. Whoa.
So
yeah.
So you go through that, and then he's battling. Well, not even battling. He's straight up attacking just cancel culture, like how it's robbing the artists from the ability to speak freely. Like they supposed to be the ones who speak freely, and he taking that back. Like the people
who cancel culture, dog.
Say what I want
about you niggas. I'm like over, dog. I'm like, oh.
And the thing about that is, like, we're not gonna talk about that. Let's go to Worldwide Steppers. I don't want to do that.
I think we already did that actually on the episode.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Okay.
Let's leave that alone.
I'm talking like we really tore that shit down. Yeah, but anyway, go ahead.
We're not gonna do that. So Worldwide Steppers is like, and what's the song after Worldwide Steppers?
Die Hard.
Okay, so Worldwide Steppers, he's basically just talking about, hey man, I got some infidelity, got lust issues, like I was wilding, you know what I'm saying? But he was making excuses for it. And that's why I feel like he hadn't got to the point of acknowledgement. Like he was just like, hey man, like shit. The first time I smashed this white girl, I did it like on some reverse racism type shit. Cause
like that's a wild way to justify some shit.
Exactly.
like that's not how you get them back. It's just
I'm gonna do this for the brotherhood, like set us free.
Like nah.
So
you paid a bigger target.
But the bigger theme of Worldwide Steppers is he was saying that we're all murderers of some context.
Okay.
Like whatever everybody's doing something that's killing something of somebody else. What he was saying, the record labels like kill the artist, like kill the creativity.
Yeah.
Like people people like critics, like people like what we're doing.
Yeah.
We could be looked at as like a worldwide stepper, like a silent murderer for how we speak our opinions on other people's art. Because if it's too much negative energy, it could kill the ability to want to take the time and effort into being creative. But we're gonna try to talk about albums that we like, and then we'll introduce some that we don't like in the middle and keep it going.
Yeah.
But
this is an all positive review, especially for this album, because I don't have any negatives for it. Me personally.
And then he was saying he brought it back on himself again. He was saying like even me, like shit, like I did like a community drive or something, but I gave him like food that's like can kill him.
Yeah.
Like so it's just like it doesn't have to be something big. Like you ain't got to be somebody that's like actually killing somebody. Like you could be somebody who's killing someone's creativity, somebody's drive, somebody's just anything. Like that makes you a silent murderer. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, you might not be a person who walking around with a gun, but like, you know, you going to work and you praying and you doing like you're supposed to, like, but you slaughter people too. Your murder's just a bit slower. Like
basically showing the human aspect of everyday life. Like regardless of how good you try to be or how good you think you are, like there's always something that taints you at the end of the day. That's just the imperfection of us as humans. That's how we were designed. So I mean, it makes sense for him to try to, in that way, spell out, not only tell you about my flaws, but also make you look into a mirror and be like, look, bro, you need to realize this is a kind of a reality check for you too. Like you need to dial it back some because you out of pocket.
Yeah, don't jump on my train like supporting me. Like supporting what I'm saying too much because I'm talking to your ass too.
Yeah.
Like don't forget. Like I'm saying that I got some work to do, but so do you. Like, whatever you doing, like even if you think you just a noble person who going to work and praying like you supposed to,
I promise you, it's
something that you got going on that you're using to the detriment of somebody else. So let's clean it up. Yeah. Like I'm a killer, he's the killer, she's the killer. We some killers, walking zombies, trying to scratch that itch. Like. We got something like we killing something like what he said, the germophobic, hetero homophobic, photoshopping lines and motive, hide your eyes and pose for the pic. Like, bro, we killing we killing everything. Like, like we just can't help it. Like we have this insatiable drive and desire to destroy. Yeah, and that's just like a flaw of man. You know what I mean?
That'll always be there.
And he just hid that in that fire.
Because we destroyed our own paradise happiness, if you want to get religious.
Niggas killed Jesus.
So, I mean, I don't want to go into all that, but it just basically to drive the point home that no one's perfect. Yeah. At the end of the day. So,
yeah. And it's the perfect song, like the perfect follow-up, and then we'll kind of like skip through to some of my favorite songs. Yeah. But I do just want to get like the actual essence of what he was trying to convey in the album out in this review. The next song, like based on what you said, was Die Hard. Yeah. Like he's saying, like, I'm not perfect. I just need you. I need you to be able to, I need this to be a safe space. I need you to accept me as I am. Like right or wrong, no stones, just love this in me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if I open up to you, will you be receptive to me and and love me as I am so we can grow together?
Did that song ever make the radio?
I think so. It was intended to.
It did?
I don't listen to the radio like that, but I know it was intended to. Like,
I'm just trying to see what's the song, because honestly, I don't know what the song is that people really take from this outside of the Kodak song.
N95.
Oh, N95. Okay,
N95 is everywhere. Okay, I do know that.
I got you. Okay.
So N95, Die Hard,
Silent Hill,
and probably Count Me Out too.
I love, bro. Count Me Out. Really I like that song. But it just really, really grew on me like over time. Like it shot up to like my top like 3 or 5 songs on that. Like Count Me Out is really good, bro.
And I think based on the demographic, I could see Purple Hearts being on the radio too.
Okay.
With Ghostface.
Yeah, with Ghostface. Yeah.
Because I was like, you don't go get Summer Walker if you don't intend to get in no radio spins.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that song with number 4, Die Hard, it's all about openness and vulnerability and honesty. And I think at this point, he's starting to open up and express what's really going on.
Yeah. That leads into Father Time, the next song.
So I got daddy issues. That's on me. Searching for I love you. Really empathizing for my relief. So it's like, bro, he really like he's not making a big deal about trying to be too intricate. Yeah. Like the intricacy comes in how he's making this extremely deep thing very simple and straightforward. Yeah. And it's an art and a craft in itself in that. And basically just like telling you this story extremely vividly so you can almost see it. Like him just looking for this sense of validation from his daddy, and in turn not getting that back, picking up some of the more toxic traits from him. Yep. Like the denying love from outside, people not having any trust, and not just not being vulnerable, period. So you go through this lifetime of repressed emotion, like to the point where, hey bro, your mama died and you going back to work. because you can't, like, you're not even allowing yourself to grieve because you ready to go pay bills, and that stuff kill people.
What he said, Kanye got back with Drake. I was slightly confused. I guess I'm not as true as I think. Got some healing to do.
I'm telling you.
I was like, yeah, damn,
need assistance with the way I was brought up. But for real, like, so it's like at this point, daddy issues for me is a cry for help. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, like, I've hit my first like major milestone addressing what I've been through.
Yeah.
Like I stepped to my girl. It's like, hey, like, are you willing to love me in this, like, as imperfect as I am? Are you willing to like take me as I am? Now that you are,
okay, cool.
I'm willing to start making the steps to get situated.
And this is why I want to start it right here with my daddy.
Don't issues. You know daddy issues ain't in style?
Yeah,
for real. So
you still like shit.
I ain't trying to hear that shit, nigga. Keep going, keep digging, nigga. Like really get down to the base of it and tell me what's up. So you go into Rich.
Yeah, Rich. Yeah,
which is probably. We didn't really go through our favorites. This is one of my favorites because it was so.
The Interlude or Rich Spirit?
No. Rich Interlude and Rich Spirit, but Rich in particular because it was so unexpected.
Okay.
Kodak is not listed as a feature.
Right. Yeah.
And like the spoken word from him, because it's like I'm looking at this pocket reality that Kendrick has created, and I'm going to present my interpretation of it from my viewpoint. And he did it so well. Because it's like a lot of people look at, not Kanye, Jesus. Kodak is ignorant or like obnoxious and, you know, dumb or whatever. But he was able to give this extremely articulate view of how he sees life. You know what I mean? From just like, hey, I'm gonna tell you what my conditions are without just, you know, saying like it's hard. Like he just gave you like so many different like glimpses into it. And that's probably why I like it so much, because it was unexpected for one. He did a great job, regardless if it was expected or not. And I like, at this point, they're doing more to introduce the classical music into it. Mm-hmm. So it's a different sound texture as well. So now it's starting to give, oh, this is a stage play.
And I see what you're going with that. Yeah. And also too, like initially I didn't really understand why Kodak was there. But after maybe like my third listen or so, like I took it as like not necessarily Kodak explaining his conditions, but more so Kendrick using Kodak to explain his other side, his other mindset, the ratchet shit, the Aztec warrior shit.
Okay.
Side of his psyche that he may not want to release in a way that it may not come off as musical in a sense if he try to go down that road. So I'm going to use you as my avatar. Okay. In a sense to basically drive the point home that I am really one of y'all niggas, bro. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not the God savior that y'all always thought I've been since whenever y'all thought I was and shit. Like, so I'm going to use him to really speak how I feel or where I came from. So that's how I looked at it.
I really like that because it puts me in the perspective of showing why a lot of people feel like the Heart Part 5 was so necessary to be included in the album, because in the song, like the sample is I Want You, but he kept saying I want the hood. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I want y'all to embrace me, like, because a big part of the fight that I'm fighting is to give y'all a voice and to speak to y'all on this level. So we can really really recognize what's going on and step out of that and start to heal. Even though we still are where we are who we are and we're from where we're from.
And also that also plays into the aspect where you talk of it being like a stage play, like a play, because technically if you take that perspective, Kodak is just simply playing a character. Yeah. In that moment. Mm-hmm. So with the whole tap dancing and the steppers in the background, like you said, it sounds like a stage production. Mm-hmm. So like that's cool as fuck, bro. Like,
because you know they have to regroup like in between sets, and like the intro to Worldwide Steppers is when the steppers first get introduced. Mm-hmm. Like when it's like they was I never thought of this when he was like it's 3 acts, but also in that song it was like he was announcing them to step on stage. Okay, Kodak Black. Yeah. Okay, Llama. And this is the Big Steppers. Like
yeah.
I never looked at it from that perspective. Like this is the introduction of the Big Steppers, and the Big Steppers is Kendrick, OK Llama, Eckhart Tolle, and Kodak.
Yeah,
like it's these three different positions of people and mindset that come together to create this streamline of thought throughout this album.
To understand my morale level.
Yeah.
Where I was during these different, man, nigga, that's fire, bro.
So we go from that into Rich Spirit, which is by far no. It's tied for my favorite song on the album. It's this and Mr. Morale are my two favorite songs.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. But
no, nigga, we gonna ask you why. That's what this is for.
Taking my baby to school and I pray for it, cause you niggas ain't never been cool writing testament. Hey, I rap this whole album. But this song is basically as I take it, you know how when you feel good, like you hit a milestone? Mm-hmm. Well, this what this feels like. It's like, hey man, I got this. I got as Ozu said in Achilles Heel, like Emperor's New Groove. I'm wearing a different aura now. I can't fuck with you no more. I'm fasting. For real. Like he like, hey man, like I'm moving different. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I gotta get there. So like this is me walking the path. Like what he said, the morality can wait. Feedback on Lole said I'm glitching from the face. As my thoughts grow sacredly, I'm running out of space. Ask Whitney, she okay, never mind 100K. Like, why you lying on Benjamin? But this whole verse is like getting him to the point of like, I want peace. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I mean, I'm gonna have to skip it then, cause like that's gonna trigger the very next song.
Okay, well let me keep going. But like
I'm gonna keep that, cause he's leading to I want peace. But
yeah, so it gets to the point where he's talking about the money, and he's like, bro, I'd be lying if I said I want to get this shit away. Like, and now he's saying that I'm from the road that I've walked, I'm starting to embody these different religious figures because I have learned things from all of them. Mm-hmm. But I'm still who I am, so I ain't got there yet. Like the aloof Buddha. I'm Christ with a shooter. Praise to Muhammad. I might nigga news you. So it's like I'm like, bro, like I'm both. Like you gotta remember that. Like I can't escape where I'm from. I can just improve my current condition. But that part is still a part of me. Like the aloof Buddha in my perspective is just like I'm not consciously aware of what I need to do to get where I'm going because I ain't got there yet.
Yeah.
Like,
but I just know something needs to be done.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be at peace, my nigga. So it's just like, hey, just blur all this shit out. And it's like Christ with a shooter. Like I might not be the shooter. Yeah. But I got one. So it's like I'm trying to maintain peace, but like I keep what I need with me. Yeah. In one way or another. And that could just be that could be an emotional metaphor. Like I'm still defensive when I need to be because like you might trigger me while I'm on my road. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So what he say after that? I never live my, cause he has an issue with the social media shit too. Like I never live my life on the computer. Like I actually get you life. You feel me? So it's like, hey man, I'm trying to disconnect from all of this shit and live my life the best way I can. Cause I got my own shit going on. So I don't need more of the traffic. You know, and that's where the feedback on low latency come from. Okay. Like I'm glitching from like I got too much shit going on in my head before I even get to introducing all of this outside shit. Yeah. And like this song is it just sounds like peace to me until you get to the stop playing before I turn you to a song. All of that even sounds peaceful. Okay. Like from the instrumental all the way down to how he's delivering it. It just all sounds like this very calm, centered meditation mantra.
Until you get to the next song.
Yeah. But you know, this is what the world sounds like.
Like how can I find this peace, or rather stay in that peaceful state that I'm trying to attain, if the person or people, or in this case the person that's closest to me is putting me in the most toxic situations.
But I'm also a toxic nigga too.
So exactly. Like, so like it don't match.
Yeah, we two broken people trying to coexist in the same space, and it's never gonna work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Unless we heal together. But
I don't think people really took what that song was trying to say, like for real. I think people just more so shot at it was more so like shock value, like all the the cussing and going back and forth and all the crazy jabs in that song at each other. Like people more so, I think, just took it like as a shock value versus just really looking and understand what they were trying to say in that song is like, y'all really need to get y'all shit together because this is what we look like, bro.
Yeah.
Like for real.
And I think that's what he was trying to do with this song too, because he was just another one of those mirror things. It's just like, this is not necessarily this is word for word how my life is going, but like this is my more artistic version of Black of the Berry kind of. Like this is how I see what's going on. Like we on two separate sides arguing, like just talking at each other, not reaching each other. And then we get to a point where we're really crying out for help from each other, and we not hearing each other because we're only looking for like ways to come back. Like
I'm just trying to win.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, the most hurtful shit to cut to your soul, because I'm just trying to win to make my point more valid than yours.
Yeah. Like I'm broken, so like I can't let you walk away feeling more together than me.
Like you didn't beat me, nigga.
Yeah. So I destroy both of us before I let you feel like you got the one up. And then it's like at the end of it, it just shows that like while they love each other, quote unquote, they don't really know how to. And that's why they come back to that one simple connection at the end, which is them having sex.
Yeah.
And then
because at the end of the day, which is so crazy, that a lot of people that's in relationships, that's the only connection that they really got. Yeah. They have no other way to really relate to each other outside of just smashing.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's really sad when you think about it, when you really understand the concept of that. But at the end of the day, that's just the shit that we go through.
Yeah. And then you get into the next song. We can kind of skip through this one because it's basically really just the chorus. Like, just shut the fuck up when you hear love talking. Like, let's
because we really love each other.
Yeah, like
we love each other. Don't get it twisted. Like, I'm gonna ride for her, she gonna ride for me. I love her, so but
let's really like work on loving each other. And we'll be able to make this work. And then you go into the second half of the album.
I love when you count me out.
Count me out. Where Rich is really just like, she says session 10 breakthrough. And at this point, like, he's all the way open. You know what I mean? He's really just discussing like all of his imperfections, you know what I mean? And just sitting there like, really, it sounds like he might have, like, this would be the part of the session where you actually break down and just be crying and shit. Yeah. Like, he said, well, I got guilt, got hurt, got shamed on me, got 6 magazines that's aimed at me, that every magazine was fame me. He's just like, basically like, this part of my life, like, why I thought it would give me some type of fulfillment, it does not matter. Yeah. Like, it's really just a distraction for real, like, from what I got going on internally. Like, I would prefer to mind my own business.
That last third or so of the song where he just really, like, he go into that pocket, like, man, bro, like, I almost teared up the first time I heard, like, when he really just like went into that shit and going, like, it's almost like how he did the cadence, like he just going back and forth, back and forth. Like, I'm constantly fighting with myself in order to move forward, but also let y'all see it to gain y'all acceptance at the same time. So don't count me out, bro. Like, I'm here, you know, like that shit. It just,
I think he was also talking to, the woman as well. Like, like that shit just, like, every time that you doubt me, some part of me, like that pride that's in me, like, makes me want to prove myself to you, like, or just prove myself in general. So it's like, not only you, but everybody at large. Like, I love when y'all like count me out. It just gives me more fuel to show y'all I am who I say I am. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when you in a relationship, you do get to some point, and it don't have to be your current relationship. Well, like, it's like, all right, you said something, you got to stand on it. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, this is the time, and it's like, all right, well, I hear you. Just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go and show you. Like, I love when you count me out. Like, I'm finna go on, like, let you know, like, what's up for real. But I'm gonna do it through my actions. It's the strongest indicator anyway.
And then it goes straight into Crown.
And going into Crown, from the end of it, the misregret portion, is basically like I can't really receive forgiveness until I forgive myself. And a part of forgiveness is understanding where I am and how I got here, and taking that level of accountability and starting to right the wrongs going forward. Yeah. So the first wrong that he had was on himself. On himself was taking everybody's burden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta realize
heavy is the head.
Yeah, exactly. Heavy is the head that wear the crown. But also there's nothing that you can do. Like there's no one size fits all for everybody.
Right.
Like, and even if you are trying to be everything to everybody, sometimes you won't be able to please everybody.
Yeah. So
it's like, hey man, I'm stretching myself this wide. Like I'm trying to give the fans what they want. I'm trying to give my family what they want. I'm trying to give my wife what I want. Well, yeah, my wife what she want. Like I can't please everybody. So it's like I have to decide and prioritize. Like I can give you what I can, when I can, how I can. I'm gonna give you the best, but I can't give you everything, because even if I did, you wouldn't be satisfied.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go out the way to make the coin available. That's what I call love. Like, like I want to see y'all nod y'all heads in approval when I perform these songs. That's what I call love. Like, but the one time I tell y'all I'm not dropping, like everything I did don't matter. If I'm not giving you no money, everything I did don't matter. If this is the case, but it's like shit, I can't please everybody. And
like people was really, in a sense, count him out.
Yeah.
Okay, it took him a long, because Dayon came out in what,
2017.
2017. And this came out what? This year, so it's 2022?
1,855 days.
That's
I've been
crazy.
going through something.
That is a long ass time though.
Be very afraid.
But it also speaks to like how much he solidified himself in terms of his fan base, that he can take that long of a time off and still be, received, pretty. Because people really said some dumb ass shit about this album, but
that's with anything.
But just to be received in a good light after taking so much time off, So
especially not being active in the interim,
active at all, like not doing features. Like you said, not on social media, not really in the public eye in terms of like advertisements or sponsors or none of that, TV shows. He ain't doing none of that shit. He literally at home with his family, raising his kids, just trying to, get his shit together. And the next song is on Mr. Morale.
I just think it's another pace breaker.
Yeah.
But also it's like I feel like certain songs he used as like certain mechanisms from therapy. Like this sounds like it sounds like a very intense mantra. Like the heavy breathing is like he was coming out or something. Like it was a breathing exercise.
Okay.
And he was like basically reiterating what he felt like his purpose is.
How does this go? Because I don't.
This is when he was doing the dedications to his children. Like
okay, yeah.
These I'm calling is right on time.
Okay.
So
because this one and Mirror are the ones I don't really remember that well.
So yeah, he was just saying like I think it's one. This is another song about release.
Okay.
I'm grabbing my I'm stepping into my purpose and releasing all of the things. So with the chorus, like we said, damn, how does the chorus start? Right on time. How does the chorus start?
I don't.
I'm about to get it because I'm trying to get the end of the verse.
And the fact that you
shit
able
on
to
my mind and it's heavy. I tell you in pieces because it's way too heavy. My diamond chokers. More life to give on demand. Are you ready? Who in alignment like us? Who got who got to heal them all us when it's no one to call? So basically, like, hey, this is my purpose. So first, I am starting with myself, leading it into my kids, and going out first. Protect the house first, and then everything else will follow. Because he said, he was speaking to his daughter. He was like, Uzi, your father's in deep meditation. My spirit's awake, and my brain is asleep. I got a new temperature, sharpening multiple swords in the faith I believe. And then he gets into understanding if I really can forgive myself, I can really look at somebody like R. Kelly and have genuine, like empathy for. Like if he wasn't molested, I wonder if life would fail him.
Yeah, I'm about to say, just knowing like the new details about his background that apparently no one ever knew. I mean, of course, I never knew that. But now, granted, for me personally, did it change anything that he done? No, but it does put a different perspective on the mindset of someone going through and doing that type of shit. So, like you said, if he could accept the things that he's coming from, that he can actually give a genuine form of empathy for someone as fucked up as R. Kelly. So I get that.
And then he goes into the thing with Oprah. I wonder if Oprah found closure the way that she posted the hurt that a woman carries. So he's speaking basically on the same exact issue from both sides of it. Like having empathy for R. Kelly, who would be considered from Oprah's viewpoint as an abuser. And he's able to have genuine empathy for both the abuser and the abused, because at one point that abuser was the abused. And sometimes that turns you into a person who will abuse somebody else, like hurt people.
Is it kind of like in that situation, what Gayle King was trying to get on, Lisa Lacy? To step out of pocket?
Kobe,
Kobe? Yeah, that kind of shit. Okay, I got you.
So, hold on, wait a second. And then
wild.
he gets into like saying like, bro, this is a part of my epigenetics. Like this, like has come through my family. Like this has come through me from my lineage. Like my mother was abused young. Like all of the mothers back where we from. SSI buried family members. Like for that, you like really at the lowest prong of socioeconomic status. Like so it's like a lot of stuff that we dealing with.
If you getting SSI.
Like we don't have the money to enrich ourselves. We dealing with this type of deeply rooted trauma. What is it? And then at the repast, they serving Popeye's chicken. Like you're you die in so many different ways. Like you burying somebody, you losing a part of you. You probably dealing with deeply rooted trauma. It don't have to be sexual, but deeply rooted trauma that attaches to your spirit sometimes. And then you consuming stuff that's killing you. So it's just like on so many levels. And they say, what you know about black trauma? That Tyler Perry thing was crazy, but we gonna go forward.
And that leads straight into the next song, Mother I Sober. That's a crazy ass transition,
and this,
bro.
I don't listen to it all the time when I go through the album, but this is this is in my top 5 songs on the album too, because it's like he wouldn't be Kendrick without one of these songs on every one of his albums. Like just that one that like really like gets to the core of not solving the problem, but addressing it at the deepest level possible, to the point where he's like, hey man, like he's really got to the core of his issue with his with some of the biggest issues that he's dealing with. Like sexual assault is in it, but it's not even from the perspective of him being abused. It's from him growing up his whole life not having a voice in reference to this stuff, while dealing with the fact that so much happened in reference to it. Like his mom was abused. There was violence that took place like in reference to him saying whether or not he was abused. Like, so this is a very sensitive and touchy subject. So like when you look at it from that perspective of the sexual trauma, you can listen to the album. I don't want to say backwards, like to get a different, but like when you go back to like Auntie Diaries, ain't that the name of the song?
Auntie Diaries, yeah.
You can get an even deeper look into that, because sometimes that is a reason for certain things. Like people go through sexual trauma at a young age and they respond to it differently. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, hey man, like this is something that I feel like took my voice away, so I respond to certain stuff differently on top of all of the other stuff I've been through.
And then it's cool. Well, yeah, it's cool when you really think about it, like as an adult, when you go through these different situations, and it makes you really question what is vulnerability. Yeah. Like, because growing up, these are my family members. This is what I'm dealing with. So I'm thinking, I'm taught that these are the people that I'm supposed to be the most vulnerable with, in the sense that I can let my guard down. and things like that. So if I was going through life thinking this and this is happening to me, but what I get with somebody that's outside of my family that makes me feel something totally different, how do I really respond to that? You know what I'm saying? Like how am I able to open up the same way if I get this from this side, but I get this from that side? That's why I think it's cool that you said that he has one of those songs where it always like addresses the problem, but never really gives a true solution for it, because it's always more than one way to solve a problem. So if you just go about a way figuring out like every problem, like this has this exact answer, but if I get to the same answer a different way, you know what I'm saying, then it's different. So I don't think it's never necessary to make a song like this is how you solve the shit.
Cause and then it's like shit, I may not have the answer.
Right. Especially not in this moment in time.
I'm going through it right with you.
So just the fact that I'm even addressing it, I acknowledge that this shit exists.
That's a large part of emotional and spiritual growth, being able to address, like the deeper you go, the more gratifying and fulfilling it is, because you are actually like the deeper you go, the closer you're actually getting to your soul. So you moving out like the stuff that's attached to you the strongest in the most negative way. So once you can pull that back, you can do like she said, you broke a generational curse. Yeah. So like our children won't have to grow up under these conditions, like responding to these situations this way, because you can give them a more evolved and enriched and fulfilled perspective on this stuff. Yeah. Like you can say you saving their life going through this stuff. Like you, like part of what made you a worldwide stepper is gone now.
That's tough.
You know, so and in closing, the song Mirror is just about priorities. Okay. I don't feel like it's that deep. Like you said, like I couldn't say y'all world. I'm trying to rebuild mine, bro. Like I got to a point where I had to make a choice. I couldn't do both.
So I really had to sit out a couple of years.
Trying to do both, I lose both. Like, or both of y'all gonna get.
Because the expectations y'all put on me after my last project, it's just like
unrealistic.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then, like, even on a larger scale, like you can look at this shit and be like, it's not real. Like, this is my real life for real. Like he said, and you're not in the grief. My life is a cul-de-sac.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Like that's my real life. Like this is just a character that I dive into from time to time. But like my real life is people who probably call me, don't even call me Kendrick. So like for y'all to be like, oh my God, Kendrick Lamar, like, okay, that's cool, but like I'm really such and such. Yeah. You know what I mean? To the people who know me dear. It's like I'm trying to raise Enoch and Uzi, like, and y'all talking about when the next 516 coming out. Like I got too much shit on my plate, bro.
Like it all goes back to that whole the less is more mentality. Like I don't have to fucking drop an album every year. Cause y'all to understand that I'm fucking fire.
I'm gonna get whenever I drop, it's gonna be well worth the wait. So all you gotta do is like, matter of fact, have you even really digested what I gave you the last time? Cause if we was really all on one accord, like, you know, but
like I think if you was really understanding where I was coming from, you wouldn't even truly expect something from me right away. Because you understand, like I really gave y'all a lot of shit on that last album. Like
I gave y'all years of my life.
Like,
years of my life.
And I'm not dead. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm living. I'm still living. So it's more shit I gotta go through. Yeah. It's more shit I gotta experience. So it's just like
he said I got more life to give you.
Yeah.
He said that shit in one of the songs. I can't remember which one. He's like, I got more life. Oh, more life to give on demand. Are you ready, Mr. Morale? Like I got more to give you, but like you're not entitled to it. I have it to give. Yeah. Like that's my job.
Meaning that I give that shit when I want.
But I'm gonna give it how I want when I want. So pump your brakes.
Yeah.
I don't work for y'all.
Bro, Kendrick really talking his shit on this album, bro.
Yeah.
Like for real, bro. Like that's why I really love it so much. Cause like just from the simplest standpoint of, because we was talking about this like through a lot of the episodes, but I was really personally feeling like if I was in that situation, like y'all need to shut the fuck up, bro. Like leave me alone, bro. Yeah. Like that's not my fight, bro.
Yeah.
It's not, because are you gonna step out of your situations to fight that fight. If you're not gonna do that, then leave me the hell alone, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Like y'all want me to be who y'all want to be, but y'all not willing to be.
Right, exactly.
That ain't my job.
Y'all not willing to make that sacrifice.
You not no stepper for real. You ain't no. Come on, man, chill out. Y'all ain't about that shit for real.
Yeah. So why would you put that shit on me?
Because somebody got to save us.
It ain't me, nigga.
It's really all of y'all. And once y'all understand that, like that, I'm all of you, and all of you are me, because we're all the same person enjoying this experience at the same time. And if you looked at it from this perspective, you are everybody that has ever lived. You're just living this specific life this time. And that was one of the finest realizations I got from another album that we'll probably never talk about. It was a guy talking at the end, and he was like, you are everybody that has ever lived. You are just living each life one step at a time. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was the dopest way, because it makes you look at everybody with a built-in sense of empathy, because it's like, bro, I'm you. Like, I'm just not living that life right now. Yeah. So if I treat you how I want to be treated, I'm loving myself. Inward love exudes outward.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll probably never discuss that album.
We won't. But thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of DeCypher. As always, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to, follow us on Instagram, DeCypher Media Group. All one word. It'll be around here somewhere. And until next time, we out. Peace.